Hey, it's Kyla. If my voice sounds particularly like it's straining today, that's because I broke the rules and was kind of jamming to some old school Taylor Swift earlier. You can yell at me. So this is the story of my wild and crazy Airbnb host. Now, when I say wild and crazy, I don't mean that in a bad way. She was actually very nice, very generous, very helpful, very, very nice woman. But she was just a little out there. So in case you don't know, Airbnb is a website that lets you rent out people's homes instead of staying in a hotel when you go on a trip. It's typically cheaper and nicer than a hotel because sometimes you get the entire house, sometimes you only get a room. It just kind of depends on the situation. In this Airbnb, me and my friends were renting out a room, but the room had one bed and there were four of us, so she gave us the living room as well. So she was staying in the house with us, and we didn't know whether or not she was going to be. So let's get on with the story. Now, I'm not going to say this person's name for reasons, but we're going to call her Amber. Okay, glad we got that straight. So this was the very first night of our trip. We were going to be staying in 3 different Airbnbs, and this was the first one, and we were just staying there for one night. It was kind of the, we just flew in and we want to die, so we're gonna crash here kind of thing before the trip actually got going. So we had gone to the beach, and I don't like the beach. I don't like sand. I don't like ocean water. Like, give me a pool, that's fine, I'll be content, but I don't like the beach. But I went because my friends wanted to go, and I was like, well, I'm in California. I might as well, enjoy the beach. They're pretty. They're sure a heck of a lot cleaner than my beaches where I live. So we went. My friends were encouraging me to go deeper and deeper into the water, and I ended up getting my shorts soaked and I felt disgusting. So we go back to the Airbnb, which is walking distance from the beach, but when you have wet shorts, it feels like forever. So I was just kind of waddling with my legs apart. We get there and I jump in the shower because I actually feel like I'm gonna die if I don't take a shower right now. I get out of the shower and I can't find my friends. So I look outside and I hear them all laughing and chattering, blah, 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 blah. So I walk out to join them. And just as I walk out, I see them all starting to look in the opposite direction, and I hear a woman's voice. And she has a very heavy Spanish accent. And so she's coming up the stairs and she's like, "Hi, I'm Amber." And, she's very nice. She introduces herself and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've been speaking Spanish all night." And Amber, with her still heavy Spanish accent, says, "Sorry guys, I've had 2 margaritas tonight." I'm like, okay. My friends were drinking too, so I was like, it's a party, I guess. So she follows us into the house, and she's asking us questions like, what brings you here? What are you guys planning on doing? Me and my friend Michael sit on the couch because we're exhausted and we're not very social people, so we kind of just let our other friends do the talking while we sat and kind of fell asleep and half listened. And I figure that she's probably gonna come in, you know, give us the old how do you do, blah, 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 and then kind of lock herself somewhere else, because in my past experience, I've never had an Airbnb host kind of stick around. So she comes in and she sits down at the table, and she's talking to my other two friends. And they talked for like 2 or 3 hours, but there are a couple of highlights that I would like to point out. First of all, as she was talking, her Spanish accent started to fade away. I was like, okay, whatever. And then I learned that her native language is English. She was born and raised in the United States, but she taught herself Portuguese, Spanish, and Italian through Rosetta Stone and through dating guys that spoke only those languages. Pretty smart. Like I said, I never said that her being weird was bad. That's smart. So she said that she dated a Portuguese guy for a year, or was it 3 years? Might have been 3 years. That's a big difference. I need to get my story straight. And the Spanish guy for the same amount of time. So quite a long time she dated those guys to learn the language. She made it sound, I'm not sure if this is accurate or not, but she made it sound as if she dated them for the sole purpose of learning the language, and then was just kind of like, peace. So her accent changed as she was telling these stories. Like, sometimes she would just switch into a Spanish accent, and then she would go back to American, and I don't even think she realized it. And when she said the names of certain people, if they were like a Spanish person, she would say it with a Spanish accent. So I thought this was really cool. Like, kind of wild that she was self-taught and taught herself in that way, but still pretty freaking cool. Amber is also a surfer. So she's like pretty built. She's very attractive. And I mean, she just has her own apartment in the middle of LA, and she teaches surfing. And she even offered to come with me and my friends to the US Open of Surfing, I think it was. And she was like just totally down to hang out with us like a friend. It was pretty cool. We got on the topic of car theft. So another wild thing that Amber told us was the story of how her car was stolen. And let me just tell the story. Some of the details are a little bit foggy. I don't remember exactly the circumstances under which she got her car stolen, but it was stolen, and she called the police, and they were just kind of like, all right, yeah, sorry, there isn't much we can do. And so she somehow tracked her car. She called the police again, and she was like, hey, I know exactly where my car is. There is a police station right next to this place. Can you please go get my car? And they were like, oh, sorry, I can't do that for this reason. I think it had something to do with, like, the police were in a different town or something like that. And so she's like, are you kidding me? And her car ended up being found in a ditch on the Mexican border. Not that it's that uncommon for cars to be stolen, especially in LA, but yeah. It also turns out that Amber was planning on selling her LA apartment because she was moving to Morocco for a while. I don't remember exactly how long. I think it was like a few months. And she was going to go do a surfing class there, teaching, I believe, something like that. She was moving to Morocco. And so she was like, hey guys, do you want a coffee machine? And at first I'm thinking, oh, she means like, do we want her to like set up the coffee machine in her apartment so we can have coffee while we're here? But I wasn't sure how to take it, and I was just kind of like, what? And she points to a box that's on the ground and it has a Keurig in it. And she's like, yeah, she's like, I'm selling this place, so just take it if you want it. And we're like, I would love a free coffee maker, but I don't think that would fit in any of our luggage. And actually, I have a Keurig. You can't see it, but it's like, it's over there in that corner. Because one year, me and my mom both asked for Keurigs for Christmas, even though we live in the same house, but my logic was, oh, well, I'll be moving out one day and I don't want to fight over the coffee machine. So I'm dumb. So I got one, she got one, hers is set up in our kitchen, and that one is literally just sitting over there in the corner being useless. Anyway, so we're like, oh no, thank you. And she's like, okay, well, you know, anything you want, just take it. I'm moving in like 4 days. 4 days. She's moving in 4 days, and she's having people, strangers, like renting out her apartment on Airbnb, and she told us to take whatever we wanted. We didn't take anything because that's weird, but like, here is the wildest part of all. Like, if you didn't think that that stuff was that interesting, I don't blame you. I forgot a lot of the details, and I probably wouldn't have even made this video if this last part had not happened. So my other two friends left the Airbnb in the morning a little bit earlier than me and Michael did. So we were hanging out, and then checkout time was rolling around, so we were packing up our stuff and getting ready to head out. So we had the bedroom, and in order to get down the stairs, you had to pass Amber's bedroom. We had heard her talking on the phone for a while. You could hear her through the wall, and she was speaking another language. As me and Michael are rolling our luggage past her bedroom door, which was cracked open, she was like, oh, hey guys, I didn't even know you were still here until like a few minutes ago, which I thought we were being not that quiet, so. But she was like, if I had known, I wouldn't have been talking so loud. And I was like, you know, you're fine, it's whatever. And she was like, well, guess what, guys, I'm pregnant. And me and Michael were like, oh, congratulations. So apparently she was getting a shot, and in order for her to get this shot, they had to test her for a whole bunch of things, and one of them was pregnancy. So they were like, did you know that you're pregnant? She was like, what? So she's telling us this story, and at this point I'm like, I don't know whether to say congratulations. We're like, what's going on? She's like, yeah, they said I'm 4 months in. I haven't even had sex for 4 months. And that was my ex-boyfriend. I'm like, yikes. She's like, yeah, I guess I'm having my baby in Europe. And I was just like, congratulations, I think. And she was like, yeah, I'm on the pill, but I guess I was taking some cold medicine that, like, contradicted it. Was that the right? That was the wrong word. I don't even know. But some cold medicine that caused the pill not to work. And she became pregnant. And she was just kind of like, yeah, I guess this is happening. And then she was like, well, I have to call my ex-boyfriend and let him know. I hope you guys have a good rest of your trip. I so wish that I had a way of keeping in contact with Amber after the fact because, oh my god, she was so fun. Like, it was crazy. I've never experienced anything like that with an Airbnb host. I've always had kind of like the older people who keep their distance and, yeah, they don't really give you any personal information, let alone all that. So, best wishes to Amber, wherever she is now, in Morocco. That is where she should be. And best of luck to her and her baby. And Amber, if you ever see this, please hit me up because I would love to hear from you again, and so would my friends, 100%. And we wish you and your baby the best. And thanks for making our first night wild and fun. So thank you for watching, and I will see you later.